Okay, 1, 2, 3. We're here with Tommy Chiabra. This podcast is hosted by myself, Michael, and Ian. Thank you, Tommy, for joining us today. Looks like you're you're on a boat right now. Is that where you are?
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Good to see you. Indeed, I'm spending the last days of summer in the Mediterranean, and I'm smart working from my boat off the coast of Portofino. And great to connect you guys.
I love that.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you
It's
for
a pleasure.
connecting with us. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely a pleasure. So, yeah, Tommy, we looked into you a bit. I love what you're doing, with UNICEF and other endeavors. I don't know too much, to be very frank with you.
That gala was so huge. I saw all my influencer friends there on the red carpet. So it's so great to be, connecting directly with you,
Oh, 100%. It's an amazing thing at UNICEF. And I'm sure you're a part of that company. I'd love to ask a bunch of different things. But yeah, as mentioning, I saw you're involved with a lot of different endeavors. It looks like you're doing amazing things, Tommy, and it's, as mentioned, a pleasure to have you on here today. And I'd love to ask you, who is Tommy Chiabra, and what is the story? What is the background? If you could shed some light on that with us.
Thank you so much, Michael. So you mentioned UNICEF, and that's funny because that's happened very accidentally. It's something that I got involved with remotely. I wanted to help. I wanted to do something. Put my skill set in play and do something to help. At the time when I started, I didn't have much capital myself. I'm a self-made entrepreneur. So 10 years back, I was still investing a lot in my businesses. So I approached UNICEF to help and see what I could do to help. And one thing's led to the other. I find myself to introduce a lot of opportunities for the foundation. And after that, after a few successful partnership like the Moncler one in Italy, with Luxottica, for example, and a few of them, then we decided to organize one event, one dinner that where UNICEF could connect with ultra net worth individuals and celebrities and create awareness, fundraise, and this and that. So from that little dinner, then it became a thing that now you all see and find very glamorous, which it is, but that wasn't the purpose in the first place. It really became such a thing because the support of incredible people, support of incredible celebrities and performers, so the support of great donors. So that allowed us to build these incredible events that, as you see, it goes very, very viral every time. And that was the purpose, was to do it during the summer in Mediterranean, in Italy, where I'm from. I'm Italian, and then now it became a thing, and was doing also a Caribbean edition in St. Barth during New Year. So the purpose is really to be where everybody that is has the potential to donate a lot of money and make a difference for these childrens and for those programs are in holiday and match with some good entertainment. We can do great things and magics happen. So that's my charitable side. I mean, as I'm a volunteer, I'm going to, every year I'm going to, with them, I'm going to travel and see the programs where the proceedings that we raise go. So we're going, for example, in Uganda this month, myself and my wife Frida. So we see the programs that we support. We see the changes that we make with our donations, with all these glamorous galas. I went to Sierra Leone, I went to Liberia, I went to refugee camps, and it's really eye-opening. And this comes obviously as a second step after being an entrepreneur and being in business.
Yes.
So the first step is to build a roof for yourself,
Yes. When I asked you, I mentioned UNICEF, and Ian got excited because he loved UNICEF. Genuinely, I mean, it's such an amazing thing, of course, right? But I'd love to know, and I just going to touch on this. What's the background from prior to this? And I understand that engagement with that. It's amazing. Who's Tommy? Where you're from, Italy? How did you get to this point where you're now making such a nice impact with UNICEF? and all of these other amazing things you're doing. Like, what's the entrepreneurial background as well?
That's the thing. You say right. Before even having the spare time and attention to build something like that, you need to build your ground, the ground of your feet, the roof in your head, and be independently, have a stable economy to base yourself on. So I'm born in Genoa, is a little city on the sea in Italy, and I moved to Milan to study, and I started working when I was literally 18. I was studying in the university, and then I created a nightlife company in the night, because that's the only time I had to work. So I built an event company. We manage all fashion weeks, events, and etc. And then when I finished the university, then I start my entrepreneurial journey, and there where I built a few companies, from online gaming, from yacht supplies, from concierge companies, and one of the most successful is actually the yacht supplies company that turned into a yacht brokerage company for different reasons.
Okay. Is this
Myself,
Royal Yacht? Is that
yeah,
Royal Yacht? Okay.
correct.
Okay.
So that's how I got yachting. The first step into yachting wasn't a yacht brokerage itself, but I believe that in business you always need to pivot, and it doesn't matter how convinced you are that your idea is great. There is always something that someone, and sometimes, and that knows
Evolving,
better,
right? Evolving
and
is
you need
natural progression.
need to
Whoa.
evolve, and you cannot be too stubborn in your decision, in your plan. I mean, it's great to try hard and fail as many times, but also meanwhile you fail, you need to stand up and change your game, and reinvent yourself in a way that then you can find the right path, because otherwise you're gonna keep
100%.
failing on the same matter. So
100%.
that's what I've really learned is, this is a great example. We started this company called Royal Yacht Supplies, which was the first concept was to supply food and beverage for yachts, because we understand that the goods on board of the yachts arrived with a great margins, because it's never the ultimate beneficial customers to pay for it. Therefore, there is a great economy in between the cost of goods and once the goods is delivered. So that was the first idea, which was a great business. Myself and my partner, we really put a lot of energy and time into it. We built the company, we built the business, but it wasn't that as profitable as we wanted. Or at least our ambitions were bigger than that.
It's hard
And
to kind of scale something like that, right? In a sense. I'm with
yeah,
you.
correct. It's
Yeah.
listen, we
It's an
spend
amazing
our
concept. Amazing
yeah,
concept. I can feel it. The margins are probably great. You're getting good suppliers. You're getting good yacht companies.
correct,
Connecting the two.
correct,
But yeah, I can kind of
correct.
feel it. There's a stagnant energy, right, in terms of how to like get it to tens of millions, or something extreme
Exactly.
reference ambition. Yeah.
Exactly. And also it's a very time consuming and labor consuming business, because you need a lot of people to supply the goods, to deliver the goods, and ultimately, the proportion of effort compared to margin was just not rewarding enough for us. So fast forward, we start to be asked for yacht deals, because we were known as yacht connoisseurs. And one thing led the other. We get a few successful deals through charter sales, whatever, and then we understood that the big picture was in there. So the big business was there, and we found a very, very old school industry. That's where the gap was to be filled, because the industry was very close up and was made of very old school, double-breasted English 60, 70 years old gentlemen leading
Yes.
the brokerage, which, with all due respect, they might be very, very well educated in terms of yachting, but they don't know the client relations as well as someone like us could know, not responsive on the phone, not very high tech,
Yes. Yes.
driven. So So what we did, we changed the game into dynamic brokering, young, fun, avant-garde kind of yachting, and that's what's really that was the DNA of the company. And then from there, it was extremely successful right away, and we built a network of over 150 brokers around the world, 7 licenses in several different countries. Now we have over 3,000 yachts for sales and 2,000 for charters globally, and we are the leading brokerage house in the industry. But again, that's thanks of understanding and pivoting the way and really adapting where the gap really is, not necessarily where you initially thought it was.
Yes, yes. No,
How
it's a
you set
natural
up
progression.
relationships, you know, because that's really important too. And then like you're in a, you know, like anybody can fly a plane or charter a plane, but like a yacht, that's like real luxury, you know? So you're like at the top of the luxury space, you know, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's an amazing thing. And it's a natural progression, right? When you're in business, like we touched on, you're going to keep your head down. For those that are very focused, when you work very hard, these types of things, I call it like secrets almost. They come and leak out of the path, and you'll see the fork in the road and the fog is there, but it's kind of like clearing up. And then you just kind of go down it a little bit and you're like, oh, wait, this is where the money is. Like you touched on, right? And then you just go full horse on that. And you're very primed because you put your head down and work so hard overtime to build that client skill, to build that communication skill. So it almost becomes not easy, because nothing's easy, but you almost get to go into like a nice, let's say a knots, you're at a nice, speed, let's say.
Cruise
In
control.
terms of going down that, cruise control.
Yeah.
There you go. But it's never cruise control at the same time, right? It's always work. But very cool. I love that. Yeah, and it's very cool to hear how big you got, with all of the, 7 countries, all of these things. So is that your main focus in terms of your entrepreneurial career? Is that it, or you do other things as well?
I mean, I do. So that's a great service business, meaning that we create a service, we get compensated for the service, and we generate great profit and great margins. And I'm still the biggest shareholders of the company together with my partner. I'm president of the company. But what I realize is that it's not a value making business. Value making business, meaning that is the business that you can exit when you are 60, 70 years old, or when you're tired of it, or when you or that you can throw your phone in the water and forget about it for the next year and still find the same value. That's what I mean for value creating business. So I really start to diversify my investment and my business interest into different category. And I found, and that started in 2015. So, 7-8 years ago, where as a VC with my proceeding, with my dividends, I start to invest and participate in companies, but more as I was buying my entry ticket to educate myself on new business, really. So I was lucky enough to invest in Beyond Meat when it was a private company. I'm sure you're familiar, the alternative protein meat company, Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat sounds familiar. It does.
Yeah.
I'm a vegetarian, but it does sound familiar.
Beyond Meat, they were the very first with Impossible Food to create the vegan burgers, right? And it's a company that an IPO'd 2-3 years ago, IPO'd and reached a $12 billion valuation. Now I invested much earlier than that. So, but beside the successful investments, that's not the point. It's really the point was to learn a new category. So I think that we are in a point in time where we are in a crucial point in time that the sustainability is a key of our future, for the simple reason that we are growing in population, and if we keep doing things that are unsustainable, then we're going fast going into a dead end on our environment and our planet. So that what that means is that I bet in every business that is trying to revert our customer habits and consumption that are unsustainable. And one of them, for example, is the plant-based and alternative protein world, which aims to disrupt the unsustainability of animal agriculture, right?
Okay.
So animal agriculture is huge in pollution and climate change consequences. So I started investing a lot in alternative protein, green mining, electric vehicles, and all of that.
Yeah.
So on the base of my investments, learned a lot, I educated myself a lot in that, and I founded this company called Neat Food. I'm sure you heard about it. So
Yes.
it's
I saw you doing an
it's
interview I watched prior to this podcast.
yeah,
Yes, about it.
yeah.
But I'd
So
love to
so
learn about
neat
it. Mhm.
so neat food, it's the next, is the future of food. What is the future of food? The future of food is what we're going to eat, what we're going to eat that is produced in a way that doesn't affect our ecosystem and sustainability of our environment. So it's alternative protein, cell grown meat,
Yes. And it doesn't affect
fermentation.
us. It's good for the
Exactly.
environment and good for humans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love
At
that.
least as not you're not giving away anything on choosing the better protein. So this is our aim, and we build a chain of stores. We have our own restaurants chain called Neat Burger, which is it aims to be in aims to be the Shake Shack of sustainable protein. We built
Some of
different
those
arm of the
Miami
business.
Brickle,
Yeah. No, we coming. We open in
my
New York
neighborhood.
and so. No, we will. We will.
Vegan. He's a vegan, so he'll be your first guy there.
Yeah.
Dig into this.
100%. You love it. So for us, it's really to disrupt and innovate the food industry. There was never in the world and in the history such a period in time where food was in such a disruptive moment, and such a big opportunity was presented in the food innovation, because we never changed so much our habits in eating, because men are creature of habits.
Yeah.
But this is one of them, and is needed, and simply will be will be in the everybody's life very,
So
very
I want
soon.
to ask you two things, if you don't mind, Tommy. Just to
Yeah.
shed a little light on this. In terms of the negatives, you mentioned we're in such a disruptive moment in terms of what we're consuming, right? Food, etc., what it's doing to the planet, vice versa. More importantly, as well as you're referencing, emphasizing, which of course is the topic, what it's doing to the planet and the animals, the ecosystem. What are these negatives? For anyone that's listening to this that's not as educated, can you educate a little bit to somebody like how bad it really
Yeah.
is? Not to go so negative. I like to keep it positive, but it should be something
No.
that's spoken about. And then I'd like to ask how you went about creating this NEAT and the development of it a bit. But can you emphasize to someone that's new, that's going to watch this, really, what is really going on in this disruptive, when you use this term? Can you elaborate on that?
So that's the funny thing, that when I say that I'm investing both my ticket to knowledge, it's really
Yes.
advancing what I know in this space.
Mhm.
And I found out early in 2014-15 that I didn't know, and it's crazy to know, because it's so obvious now, in terms, it's not just a theory, it's a fact, that the cow farming is the most polluting contribution to greenhouse emissions in the world. So the cow itself emit gases that are emitting greenhouse emissions that are really destroying the planet and the atmosphere. But I didn't know. Nobody really know. But if you research, it's
Yes.
an incredible fact that way more than what we pollute with the normal diesel cars, rather than electric cars, way more than airplane and whichever thing that was the major cause of greenhouse emission. The number one cause is cow.
Wow.
And we
I didn't know that.
and we are creating so many cow and animal to feed ourselves, that first of all, cow is creating a huge amount of wastage. They take a huge amount of land, so deforestation is the main source of oxygen and air cleansing. So
Cleansing, yes.
deforestation, air usage, water usage, and the gas that they emit. So the all component of the agriculture of the animal is the #1 component for climate change consequences.
Wow.
So it's a very, very stunning fact, and I will really invite anyone to watch few documentaries on Netflix or Amazon, and really they are very, very educative, and it's mind-blowing as how if we going forward like this, you know, that's not going to be a very, very good ending for our planet ourselves. So
can I ask you, and pardon if you had touched on this, but what got you so motivated to like dive in this and make a difference and give this your time and your energy?
Okay, I think that two things. I think that if you are betting into something, you might want to as well bet in something that is so obvious that needs to happen. And you know, like as a business, so there is two mentality.
Okay,
One,
so you have that perspective on it. Like, wait,
there is two mentality over here. There is the mentality of the business that thinks about money. You know, put $1, create $10.
It's
and
logical.
It's logical because I'm betting on a winning horse. Needs to happen. Is either that or there is no planet. So you know, there is no.
I don't want to even have humor attached to that. I'm with you though. I hear you clear. Yes.
You know, there is very little room for losses in there. And then there is the ethical part of me, which is, you know, we just started a call mentioning, you know, the charity work and etc.
Yeah.
Obviously,
you have
something
children,
that it's
you have grandchildren. You want them to live on a healthy planet.
Exactly. So there is the ethical part of me. So the two together are really satisfied in this specific case. You know, I found the scope of solving a problem, and that solving the problem most likely I will also make economy of it. So the two is a win-win decision, and that's definitely what drove me.
I love
into
this, Tommy.
space.
I love this. I'm so happy you came on. I love the whole thing. From you know, you started in Italy with the events. You went into the yachting. You found a particular service that was cool. There was a cool margin. You then went into the chartering. You felt like, I feel, and I don't want to speak for you, of course, this is what I'm gathering in this brief moment of time, that you felt like, I feel you wanted something a bit more fulfilling. You know, this yacht chartering can make money. It's all cool, but there's got to be something that's going to be equally fulfilling for me and financially fulfilling, right? And then you found out, you know, you did your research, you got exposed to this, and now you're making an impact in this area, which is amazing. I salute you. We both do. It's absolutely amazing. We need people like this. And I'm honestly the same. You're tapping into my heart right now. Maybe it's someone like you that needs to shed light on this for me and for anyone else that's viewing this. Like, wait, what's this? What's it all really about? You know, let's make a real impact, right? Because that's what it's all about. You know, so then you went into the NEAT. So I want to bridge into this. How did you go about starting this business, the NEAT company?
Because I thought that, you know, if I need to invest my time and my funds somewhere, I want to do it in something that can accelerate the change. If it's anything, I don't like to be passive. This is you might understand. You know, I want to help, but I want to be active. I want to do it. So I want to be active, and that was my contribution to be active and create a change. And again, NEAT is a different approach. Even there, I seen there was a gap. There is a gap because you might, you know, there's who's vegetarian, who's flexitarian. How we call someone that flex their diet, eating more veganism and less meat intake. So there is people that are already educated into this, but my goal was
to educate them. You want to be able to.
I want to be able to convert people. So my hashtag in NEAT is game changer, because we're going to change your game. We're going to convince you to come. And if you see our profiles, you know, we have a bunch of celebrity investors, you know, you can read all the news.
Yeah.
Our stores are super inviting, Instagrammable. Why? Is because we're inviting you to try and change your game. So this
Yeah.
is the big purposes, and
Like
also,
an
you know,
open community energy. Yes, I understand the why, and it's amazing. Understand the why. Can you kindly, if you can, elaborate on the how? How did you go about, you know, creating the NEAT company? You know, what's the breakdown of that? Because we're very entrepreneurial on this side as well as you are.
yeah.
Very
I mean,
curious for those that are listening. And I
listen.
don't want to
So
belittle the why. The why is
no.
important. I want to just
I'm
say that, just for someone that's listening, just like Mike, you missed the point. I did not miss the point. The why is priority. But if we could, how did you go about building this? I'm curious. Yeah.
it's you know, it's a great question, Mike. It's and I mean, I think my business partner can respond better than I do,
Oh, okay.
because it's you know, it's just being convinced of an idea and waking up with the idea and don't going to sleep till you finalize that idea. How you do it depends. I can tell you that I knew great people, or I'm so stubborn that with you know, phone games, I tried to connect with everybody till I get the right team together. So really neat. I got the best operators in UK, because we started off UK, the best operator from UK, then the best investor, the best celebrity to endorse it, that shared our vision and our purpose. Then, you know, so the whole team came along together, and then you get someone that is smart in marketing, and you build a great company ethos and logos and things, and then the celebrity come on board because love what you're doing. But again, love what you're doing. If you see, if you know about needs, you know, Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One driver, was our seed founder with us. How do you get someone like that to believe your idea? It's just you need to be passionate.
Yes.
And when we told the story to Lewis, he got so passionate and involved with the big purpose of what we're doing, that he decided to be part of it from early days. So, you know, passion, I would say, it's really the right word. And with that, there is action, because, you know, you can be passionate but staying bad. You know, you're just a dreamer. But if you're a passion and you're out in the street trying to make things work, then maybe things happen.
Yes. Oh, absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy I asked this. Yeah, so you had this alignment. People found that they aligned with the passion and the dream, the desire, right, to make this impact in this particular way. You got that team together to support. Now, let me ask you, you're meant, you know, the farming, like, how does this, what's like the dramatic difference? You're not, you know, with cows, right? How is this meat? How is this stuff? If I can ask this type of question, you know, to supply these
No,
restaurants, like this is coming organically
no, no,
farmed.
no, it's all alternative protein created, so it's all vegetable. So,
All
Michael, so
vegetable.
just you to
Yes.
understand, it's all vegetable.
Yeah.
For you to understand, we have a laboratory of study and food scientists, and we work with university, with great minds and science. So we are globally, we are at 8% of knowing how much protein we can extract from plants. So this tells you how much we can do just with plants alone, let alone that now everybody wants to extract the cell from the animal and create food from just the cells. But the plants alone can really give us the whole food chain by itself. So the essence is that we eating the animal, but the animal is eating plants. So what we're eating is really just plants. The animal is a vehicle where all these plants and protein and all the essence of vitamins of what we need are going through. You don't need the animals to get those protein and vitamins. You just find them in nature.
Got you. So you remove the animal and you consume.
Correct.
Exactly how I
Yeah.
used to do. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Ian's big on that. He always is telling me, Mike, try the vegan for a
When
week.
my mother was pregnant, she was a vegetarian, so I just grew up my entire life like this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
now I'm
Respect.
introducing, like, you know, the bean burgers and the impossible burgers. That's so cool. You
Meat
invested
Burgers
in
is
a
going to be
company.
a thing.
Because
Yeah.
as you grow, I think, you know, it's very important to have good relationships, you know, and then also mentors. And your mentors were like investing into these companies, you know, to like learn the knowledge and then just
Correct.
do your thing to change the world. That's
Absolutely
all.
beautiful. Yes,
I want
yes.
to work with the best of the best all around the world. So it's kind of like very similar, you know, with billionaires stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
No, it's absolutely a pleasure, man. You know, of course. And, you know, I want to touch on this. So we kind of went over a bunch of things. It was awesome. I love to hear all of these things. I appreciate you sharing all of this. It's definitely motivating and eye-opening for me a bit. Something we all hear about, but it takes that extra, I guess, I don't know, push or insight to really like fully capture somebody in a sense. Maybe not for everybody, but, you know, I want to ask you, you know, through your career, a bit off now, a bit more macro of a question. You know, over your career of working, you know, and doing these things and staying so focused, is there anything that comes top of mind that you found through your past that was like an obstacle or something that was hard to, that you had to overcome, that you found value from, and or a successful moment, such as having Lewis Hamilton come on board? But maybe there's another moment you could reference that was such a monumental moment that you felt like you learned something from. Anything come top of mind with this? For those that are listening, that you to stay driven, not to give up. We have a lot of successful entrepreneurs, but of course, those that are aspirational. What's something you could share some value on, Tommy, through your career?
I mean, the challenges were when I was younger. Really, I feel like that when I was a kid, and I was just off university, and I wanted to speak with the big boys. You know, nobody wants to speak with a 20 years old guy speaking big numbers or big dream and big ambitions, and that was a bit of a limit. And I remember lying about my age and saying that I was much older, just for people to take me seriously, because you know, no one will believe that you have a company with 40 50 employees when you're 22 23 years old. So
Yeah.
so that was maybe just my age, that people wouldn't understand that I was serious when I was younger. But then, you know, you overcome that. In the other end, like great moments, I mean, listen, I think I'm a huge believer that there is not one big moment. It's not really the destination. So I don't recall the destination or the success itself. I really recall the journey to the destination, and every journey it's a success history of itself. You know, the first time that I got, you know, my house by myself. You know, before I was living with students, and then I got my house, and then from renting out, I bought a house, and then from, you know, the first, you know, 7-figure in my bank account to then doing incredible things for charity, and see that what your work is converting into life, because you're saving lives, you know, people. So to then launch a company that is all over the medias, and everybody's, you know, speaks about it, and every single investors in the world wants to invest in your business. I mean, all of that are great destination, but it's the way through that is really remarkable for me. And those are, you know, timeless and the most remarkable experience you can ever collect as an entrepreneur.
I love that. I always tell people, like, pick a job that you love and you never work a day in your life, because it doesn't feel like work. You know, you're just doing what you love. Yeah, with the passion.
Yeah, absolutely amazing, man. I love how you highlighted the journey. You know, that's what it's about. We hear that often, and it's, I could see it. You're still so focused, you know, and it's not about where these milestones are amazing, but they're not going to pause you. They're not going to, like, you know, you're not going to hang it on the wall and then sit down, right? You're going to keep moving and going.
Right.
These bigger pictures for you. It's amazing, and I love it. Absolutely amazing. So I want to ask you also, Tommy, something we ask everybody. We find value in it. I hope you don't mind me asking, what is like your morning routine? What's the morning routine to Tommy that keeps you so driven, that keeps you going all these years, pivoting in and out of what you're doing, making such an impact? Is there a pattern to this morning?
That's a great question you ask, because I went through different pattern. You know, that when I was younger, I used to believe that you need to sleep 4 hours a day, a night, and wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, pump your workout, and start the day like a lion, which
Yeah.
is not too bad. I mean, I did fair amount of that, but then I started to educate myself a lot in sleep. And in a book that I read that I really recommend to read is Why We Sleep of Matthew Walker. Great book, and really explain how important for your brain capacity and focus and memory and functionality is the sleep. And there, together with
You said the book, I'm so sorry. The name of the book is Why You Sleep?
Why We Sleep.
Why We Sleep by Nathan Walker?
Matthew Walker.
Okay, Matthew, pardon me. Matthew Walker. Okay, very good. I'm going to download that book.
So that really educated myself on how important really for your next day is the quality of sleep. So I start really to sleep a little longer, until it depends what time I go to sleep. I need to get my good 8 hours sleeps, and I measure my sleep with a Aura ring. It's an accessory that measures your sleep. Also, that very important. But there is a bunch of them.
Yes.
There is actually a mattress you can sleep on. It tells you as you sleep. It's called 8 Sleep. I'm an investor of that company as well.
Oh, yeah.
Great company.
Is it a $50,000 mattress?
No, not really. No,
I've seen some of these mattresses. My fiance is talking to me about mattresses. I'm like, oh wow, you got $30,000 mattresses, $20,000.
No. It's not a fancy mattress, but a lot of sport people use it, and it's very accurate and tell you how you sleep. You can measure temperature, because you see, for quality of sleep, you need the right temperature, the right times for your time. Everyone has a different times to go sleep and wake up, by the way. So it's very important to educate about your time frame of sleep and adapt your schedule, your eating, your temperature, your activity, the light you see in the phone. So a bunch of things that really benefit your sleep. And with your sleep, I really start to see the difference on my focus in the morning. I used to do, when I was in my morning routine, where I wake up at 6, I pump my gym, I come like a beast in the office, I want to break everything. Then I need 4 coffees around noon to still be awake, right? Yeah. So in reality, I changed that up, and now I sleep more, so I wake up a little late. I might do little yoga, 20 minutes, 15 minutes activities, can be some yoga, some push-ups, just to get the blood circling, and then I eat the day. So I think that's my response. I think sleep is very, very important for my morning, and then I start with the day, and then the sport can happen even later in the evening.
Very cool. I love how you emphasize the importance of sleep, because it's so weird how underrated that is. Yet the whole world sleeps. It's insane.
You see the book. Once you read the book, a new world will open.
The next step is I'm probably going to be buying the ring, and then maybe I'll be calling you for a mattress. I don't know. You'd highly recommend this ring. Is that correct? 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
It's like an Apple Watch too, right?
It's more precise, because it's just based on your sleep. It's called Aura, Oura.
Yes. Yeah, no, I've seen it. 100%.
And a lot of smart people wear it. If you notice, you start to see tech entrepreneurs and people, because it's really track the efficiency of your sleep, not just how long you're in bed. That's easy, you can see in the phone when you go to sleep and when you wake up, but how you sleep is very, very key. And the 2 kind of sleeps, REM and deep sleep, which is, and again a total different story. So I highly recommend to educate yourself in the topic, and get some accessories to track the sleep.
100%, and I appreciate that insight.
Of course, guys.
So let me ask you, so lastly, so you do you're getting your prep for your next day, you're sleeping well, you're measuring it, and then you just basically go about the day, you you do a bit of a workout, and I've heard that exact state, the way you even said it, from many successful entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to go run for 30 miles. Some will, and I love this, but the exact verbiage you said, they'll just get the blood flowing. They'll do the 20, 30 minutes, and then they'll go about their day. They're not looking to break their knee this morning. You know, they're going to just do this little by little. And it's like, it brings more appreciation and like ease and just enjoyment naturally. right, to the next things you engage in. But yeah, is that generally it?
100%.
You do this sleep, the workout, and then you go about your day, business, family, etc.
Exactly. Yeah. Correct. I mean, it's that oxygen that you need after workout. After workout, you feel good. It's a fact. So if you can feel good for your day before going to work, I mean, what's better than that? So yeah, that's definitely my favorite routine.
I love it.
I do my push-ups in the morning too, so I can relate to that, just to get the blood flowing.
Yeah, Ian, you're always running it too, exactly.
Yeah, I run
Miami.
3 to 4 miles on Tuesday
Wow.
night. So tonight I'm going running with my run club.
I love that. Yeah, I love that you do that. So I want to ask you just another thing, and it's another question now. I'm going to start asking each podcast. You just brought this to my attention. It's so valuable. What other books would you recommend someone to read? What are your favorite books? Anything come top of mind? Not to put you on the spot, other than the sleeping book.
I mean, there's Peter Thiel book, 0 to 100. There is
one of my favorites.
The Nike founders book I'm reading now, really good book. Let me see. I listen to a lot of books.
I have Audible. Are you pulling up your library?
Audible is fantastic because you can work out and do things driving. So you can. I'm so used to do multiple things at once, so I really need to do a few things at once to be able to focus correctly.
Yeah, so tell me on that, when you look at that list, what's the top 3 or 4 or 5 that you found the most value from, if you don't mind, if you could just say those? I
mean, Why We Sleep, I recommend it because that can really give you a good understanding of what you need to do in your life in a practical way. Then I've more educational ones, and there is a Peter Thiel, as I say, 0 to 1. It's really good book, especially for people starting business. Start with Why. It's a great book. Simon Sinek,
he's amazing.
And it really depends also in what category
everyone has
of
their
business
own
you
niche.
are.
Yes. No, I appreciate that. Those 3 right there, they're amazing, and I love that you listen to those. I'm missing that one with the Why Do You Sleep there. I'm sure there's others.
Right.
I'll touch base with you. I'd love to see a screenshot of that, and I'll share my list too. I'm very big into that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That'd be
Just curious, before we get off the pod, you mentioned you're also involved in the Caribbean. Where in the Caribbean?
I mean, we're doing the UNICEF event in St. Bart, and that happened close to New Year's Eve. So this year we're gonna do it 29th of December. In St. Bart.
I have family in Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic, and I thought maybe.
I've been in Dominican Republic and Casa de Campo.
Caribbean, it just stuck in the back of my mind. I'm like, I gotta find out before, but St. Paul.
Potentially keep us in the loop. Maybe we can bring some exposure to these really, fruitful, helping the world. We're all about that. We have a pretty nice size audience, so let's stay engaged with each other. And lastly, I just want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
It's such a pleasure. We feel there was a lot of value here, and it was great to connect and meet with you. All right, Tommy?
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a great day, guys.
Yes, keep
up. All right.
See you soon.
Ciao. Thank you for watching this episode. We upload a new episode every Friday at 5 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. We as well greatly appreciate those that have subscribed to the channel. We appreciate the love and the support. Lastly, if you've missed last week's episode, tune into the episode right here.